Thank you very much. My name is Marc Gaden. I'm with the Great Lakes Fishery Commission. I also teach in the program in the environment. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the Fishery Commission is all about, but really focus on our science and research mandate and talk about one of our biggest projects and priorities that we have. Our commission is set up jointly between the United States and Canada. It was set up in 1954 under a treaty between the two nations. By the time the 1950s rolled around, the Great Lakes fishery was in pretty bad shape for a whole number of reasons, not the least of which was overfishing and habitat loss. But one of the things that we had sea lamprey coming out of our ears. This is an invasive species that's a top predator and was killing about 100 million pounds of fish per year, which was roughly the equivalent of how many were harvested by humans. We also had very bad working arrangements among the jurisdictions. The states weren't talking to each other, let alone with the Canadian counterparts, and the fish don't turn around at the border and say, I'm a Michigan fish. And these working arrangements were very poor and were leading to poor management. Also in the 1950s, science was not nearly as developed and funded as it is today. And our treaty gave us these three responsibilities: control the sea lamprey, which we do, establish working arrangements, which we do, and lead a science program for the restoration and good management of the Great Lakes fishery. Our science program is today based around what we call theme areas, and these are areas of specific research that we want to put out there. We do this through an RFP process. It's competitive. And the fishery research program, which is as it sounds, it's how do you improve the fishery, is based on five major research themes: human dimensions of Great Lakes fisheries, the reestablishment of native fish, physical processes, what are the impacts of that? We heard a little bit about that today, actually. Energy dynamics and food webs, and then research that might be of particular interest to fishery managers. We have a sea lamprey research program, which is related to how can we do a better job controlling the lamprey, which is related to barriers and lampricides assessment and chemosensory communications, which I'll elaborate on in just a second. And then we have a science transfer. How do you take the knowledge that we've learned and actually transfer it to fishery managers? This is a vibrant process. We fund projects that are in the tune of maybe $100,000 a year for a research project, some of them more, some less, and we contribute to the primary literature on that. One of our biggest research themes has to do with what I'll call selective fish passage. It's new. This is a recycling plant. No, we're not funding research on recycling, but bear with me for a second because it's an analogy I'd like to use. For those of us who live in Ann Arbor and maybe other communities, you throw all of your recyclables in a single bin, and it gets picked up, and you don't think about it again. But what happens is it gets delivered to a recycling plant, and they don't have a bunch of people sitting around picking the glass from the plastic and throwing out the styrofoam and things that are not recyclable. It's all automated using technology, and things are sorted by type of material that it is. It's what makes mixed recycling work. It's actually not different from fish. If you think about fish coming up to a dam, you have something very similar to your recycle bin. You might have sturgeon and walleye and trout and salmon mixed in with invasive species. Some things you like the trout and salmon, so you want to sort those. Some things you don't like styrofoam and non-recyclable plastic, and you want to make sure that those are eliminated from the stream. We've launched a major initiative called Selective Fish Passage, which will get us through the greatest fishery management challenge of our times. There are thousands of dams. This is the Union Street Dam, for one, in the city of Traverse City, throughout tens of thousands, throughout the Great Lakes Basin. And if you count culverts and other obstructions, you're in the hundreds of thousands. And the problem is that these dams serve a bad purpose in that fish that need to get past those dams can't, and therefore the ability for fishery management and restoration is limited. And they also serve a good purpose. They block invasive species, most notably the sea lamprey. If there was an expansion of the lamprey's range, the fishery would suffer tremendously. What we've decided to do is launch an initiative to say, can we have it both ways? Can we pass good things and can we block bad things? And the best analogy is the recycling plant using technology, a mixed assortment of things that's done there. And some of the things are listed here that you might get into, like video shape recognition or using chemosensory, which we're very much into to corral fish in a certain direction. So that said, it give you a little taste of what our big priority is right now in the Great Lakes Fishery Commission. So thank you.